Now I'd like to introduce you to Julie K. Stallcup, who many of you probably already know. She is a board member for National Dance Foundation and known as a teacher's teacher. So let's chat with her and see what she's got to say today. So, welcome, Miss Julie Kay. We are so happy to have you here on our podcast, especially being an NDF board member and a dance teacher's teacher, which is such a way to describe you because you're so inspirational to so many people.
Thank
With
you.
that said, so tell us a little bit about yourself and your accomplishments.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I love being a board member and I love helping teachers. This has been my life forever. I was born and raised in North Little Rock, Arkansas. And shortly after my senior year in high school, my dad died when I was a senior in high school. So it kind of shot me off a little bit. But, I decided to keep following my dream. And my mama said, go for it. So I headed to Branson, Missouri, where I became a magician's assistant. And I met my gorgeous, amazing husband there. He was a magician's assistant as well.
He
And then
is fun. He is nice. I love it.
he's the best. And then we headed to Vegas after that, and I became a showgirl and continued with magic as well as he was still working with magic. And then we decided to move to LA. I worked with the American Basketball Association. I did the Latin American Music Awards with Maluma. I've worked with celebrities and raised them, such as Billie Eilish. The whole reason she, got launched on SoundCloud was because she was injured, unfortunately, during a class, and she said, "What am I going to do? I can't dance in recital." And I said, "Well, record a song because you're such a great singer, and let's dance to it." And then, boom, there goes her career and her brother's career. Julia Butters, who has been on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt and Leonardo. Tinashe, who is a recording artist and doing so well. So I've had two kids win Grammys. Noah Cyrus, and I taught Billy Ray Cyrus for Dancing with the Stars. And I've worked with the amazing Viola Davis. So I had a nice side career there going, teaching people how to dance and loved it so much. Owned a studio for 15 years with my amazing business partner and my husband. And during COVID, we decided to sell it, move home, and I had to reinvent myself and figure out what I was going to do without owning a studio. So after basically a nervous breakdown on the golf course that's behind me, I decided to start a online company which coaches dance teachers and studio owners around the world, which I'm so proud of. We have 400 members. And I also am a certified life coach. So during COVID, I decided that if I was having a breakdown, like what is happening, COVID just messed up so many things, but
So many.
it made me so much more educated on the mindfulness of the mindset of how I needed to get through it. So I became a certified life coach. And so I have at least 20 clients going pretty much at all times. And I love it as well. And now I work at a dance studio here and I teach dance, 5 hours a week here, which is not a lot, but I travel the country with LEDM 17 cities out of the year. Very, very, very proud of it. And yeah, I have three beautiful children. One is a senior in high school. His name's Jet. He's darling. My middle son is Gage. He's a sophomore. And Zeta is my girl that is about to go into high school. Cannot believe it. And I know you're going to be surprised. She's a dancer. Shocker.
I've seen pictures of her. She's fabulous.
I think so as well.
Well, your reinvention was NDF's game because that's when you came on the board, and your energy, your enthusiasm, and just your ideas have been inspirational. So we are so happy to have you. So
I love it.
thank
And
you.
thank you for allowing me to do what I love to do. That's the thing too, is you should always be grateful for the people that allow you to express that creativity and the imagery and all of that juices that flow in your brain. That's something that's so important to have somebody support you to do that.
I agree. But you said what really made you interested in dance as a child? Like, what made you start to get into it? Did you just like, oh, I'll just take some classes and that's that, or what?
Oh
What?
no. My mom looked at me one day and she goes, "You have so much energy. I don't know what to do with you." And so my mom goes, "I'm going to sign you up for dance." So she took me in my little pink box down to a place in Sherwood called Studio One. And she told the lady, who I think, I'm not lying, was like 70 years old. I loved her. And my daughter has so much energy. I don't know what to do with her. And she goes, "Well, just leave her here." And so then I quickly became they started calling me Happy Child because I was always happy when I was at dance. And then my love for dance grew from then. So I owe it all to my mom for going, I don't know what to do with you. You have too much energy. I can't handle you anymore. But on the side note, my mom had my oldest brother, 15 months later had twin boys, and then 17 years later had me. So what do you do?
What
Like,
do you do?
what do you do?
That's so funny. So you say we label you as a dance teacher's teacher. Why is working with dance teachers so important to you today?
That's such a great question. My dance teacher was the biggest inspiration of my life. Her name is Karen Harrod, and I still teach with her now that I moved home and my daughter gets to enjoy her as well. My mom was older and she did not want to have to take me home because I wanted to stay at dance till like 10 o'clock at night. So my mom was like, hey, Miss Karen, can you bring her home? So Miss Karen would go on the opposite direction to take me home. But I watched her close up the studio. I watched her do her financials. I watched her like just kind of do everything in the studio world. I went, that's exactly what I want to do. And so I give all that inspiration to her because I watched her teach, I assisted her. And more that I became an assistant, the better and the more knowledgeable I became with working with kids of all different levels. And it planted something in me and I'm forever grateful for that. So I feel I'm the teacher's teacher because of her watching other teachers. And I feel that nowadays people don't watch other people as much as they should because that's really the education of like, hey, I really like what she did. I don't like how she handled that. So I'm going to make sure I don't do that next time. We learn by those, the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs of everything. And I think that that's what we're never going to be perfect, but I want to learn and grow from people from all different backgrounds. And it makes us more of a well-rounded person.
I love it. I love it. Now, as we said, our game, NDF, was when you reinvented yourself, we got an opportunity to have you join the NDF board. Why was that something that you have chosen to do? Because you're a very busy person and you've got so many exciting things going on. We're honored to have you. Why did you choose to work with us and serve as a board member?
Well, the amazing Nancy Stone is watching my class at one of the conferences, and she was like, "You're fabulous." And I was like, "If Art and Nancy Stone say you're good, then
I
in the South we say, well, dead gum, you're good." Right? So I was like, oh. And then it became a thing where Art and Nancy would sit in the back of in the room. And I'm telling you, it was the only thing I could think of is, oh, you better not mess up. You're going to get your teeth knocked out. Like so I just, I got nervous, but I was so grateful the fact that they wanted to come to my class. And so I started to realize, with me putting up more things on social media, that I was more relatable. And I'm not predictable, which is exciting for people. Because here's the thing, I can go in a classroom and look at a child and go, oh, let's do this. And so the juices are always flowing. And once they're not flowing, I feel that I start to decline as a teacher. So I have to have people that are holding me accountable, like Nancy and Art. And I think that that's important. So you have to have people around you that are holding you accountable to become the teacher that you're going to have. You can't just be perfect all the time. So I'm always like, that really made me realize that I love teaching as much because they were watching me and funneling me with these affirmations that we need in our life. So I don't know if I answered the question in
No,
full.
you did. And it's amazing because I remember telling me about you. She's like, we have to have her on the board.
She
And
called
that's
me.
when I think I met you in Las Vegas and at Dance Teacher
Yeah.
Web. And that
Well,
we're so excited. I love your energy.
yes, when she says come aboard, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be Hussein Bolt and I'm going to be the fastest person in the world. I'm running.
I love it. So now NDF's mission is hashtag KIC, kindness, inclusion, and community. So what does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, it's what I've stood for my whole life. My teacher, Karen, who I was talking about earlier, she was like, well, we're grateful to have two arms and two legs. So we're heading to some nursing homes. So we started like dancing at nursing homes. And that's when it really like, oh, this is so kind to help and make elderly people feel that they're a part of something. And so one day we went to go do that, and it was at my grandmother's nursing home. And it made me realize that That's the kind of heart that I want to lead with in that example and that character. And so when I became a dance studio owner, I decided to do the same thing. And then it was not enough for me. And then I thought, okay, I have a student. She was, her name is Josie Hull, and she was a conjoined twin at the head, just like that, like laying down flat. So they separated their heads, and which is kind of a crazy thing, but it became national news. She was one of my students, and I became her teacher and her mentor. And I told her, I said, I want to do something more. She goes, well, you need to call Melissa's Hope in Haiti. And so I called Melissa's Hope in Haiti, and I went twice, and I helped with dancers who have seizures and different abilities. And so I decided that that was going to be my life. And so that kindness and that inclusion and all of that is something that I really stand for. So when Nancy told me what all of this is, and I became part of the board, I'm like, I want to be here forever. This is great, because those are the people that make my job and my life fulfilled. And that's all that matters to me, honestly. Yeah,
And
money.
that's such a big thing because
Yeah,
we do our NBA pregame performances, and we invite special needs dancers. So
yeah,
that is such, and we both of us work with Trisha Gomez, and we
of
love
course.
what she's done with Rhythm Works and
Certified under that.
educating and opening it up. So I agree. That's such an important factor. Now, we have our 30th anniversary coming up for National Dance Week of our annual when we first started with celebrity spokesperson, which was Cheetah Rivera. And you're very involved with picking the winners, helping the contest. What encouragement would you give the teachers to get involved in the National Dance Week, April 19th to 28th? What would you say to them? Why is it such a good thing?
Well, I mean, look, when when you're in the studio all the day long, you get wrapped up in your classes and your classes only. So like National Dance Week is a great way of collaborating. However many studio rooms you have in your studio, pull them in together and make it more of a community atmosphere, because that's what we really stand for. So that is something that you could do is create something fun, teach it in your regular classroom, and then when you come together, you're showing different age brackets of 3 and 4 year olds, and they're introducing it and putting the exposure in their mind for that. Then 5 and 6 year olds, then 7 and 9 year olds. So if you do that, then you're showing and you're building the foundation coming up. Because if we don't do that, then we're just accommodating those 12, 13 year olds, and they're going to leave. And then we're not training these young kids underneath to come up and be that amazing dancer that loves kindness and inclusion. You know what I mean? All of that.
And that's why when we were talking about as a board ways to get young ones involved, kids today are so creative. And that's why we have they can create a new shout out. And we are so looking forward to people sending in their videos, the kids, what they create. It's a quick why they dance, what they dance for. That'll be so much fun.
Yeah.
And so we're looking forward to it. So, in conclusion, any final comments you'd like to make about National Dance Foundation?
I just think it's important to be a part of something that walks the walk and talks the talk. I believe that. Now, I've been in this industry for now a long time, and I've seen people, come in and out. And I think it's important that you know who you're involved with. It is important. I'm inside that classroom every single day working. I am a mom. I am a friend. I am a wife. I have to know where I'm coming from. I have to know where my heart is, and I know that this foundation has that heart as well. And when you include people in the industry that have the same heart, you have a masterpiece. And that's what I truly believe with this foundation, or I wouldn't be a part of it, because I feel that you need to be in this business every day, working behind the scenes and on stage. I should have said backstage and on stage. Hey, and you know what? Even at the stage door, but we've
That's
got
good
to,
too.
right, right. But here's the thing: if we're not investing in that, then we're staying complacent. So I strongly push out there to the teachers: don't be complacent. Find a group that fits you and what you need. And this
I
is
agree.
a wonderful group, and you just need to lead with that, especially with your heart.
And you know what? National Dance Foundation is better place having you there as a board member. And I am extremely honored to be working with you. So I want to thank you so much and for all that you do, not just with us, but in the whole dance community. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Love, love. And I'll end with hold the vision and trust the process. It's my favorite thing in the world. Hold the vision and trust the process.
I love it. Thank you.
Of course.